Shalom, everyone. So today, everything got figured out as far as okay. Um, I talked with Brenda, and as far as I know, everything's all set as far as the stickum thing and all that. So that's good. I'm really happy that people studied without me. That seems funny to say that, but I am. I'm glad. I'm glad that people studied. Um, Now, I want to say again that the board is up and running, okay? And I know some of you are using it, um, but I'd like to see people use it a little bit more than what they're using it for right now, because it seems like the only people that start threads are myself and Tanhouse. Um, so I would like to see a little bit more um, proactiveness, I guess, on the board. Now, on the board, there's a forum for our study. And each week, because obviously there's a new Parsha, there will be a new thread. Now, I don't care who starts the thread, whether it's me or King or anybody. It doesn't matter to me. But as long as we have a thread started in the Parsha and Haftarah forum of the board, then that's great. So what I did was I went into that forum and I started a thread for the last parsha that we did, which was Chuket. And so whenever there was questions that we sort of looked at in the when we did our Torah study in Stickum, whatever I came up with after that, as far as answering the questions, I put in that thread. There are pictures in that thread. There, so people can see where different things are occurring. Um, there are answers to some of the questions that I had in that forum, and hopefully, I want others to use it for that as well. So, if there was questions that you all walked away with, that you use that forum to and use that particular thread for each parsha and haftarah, that you also go in and put the answers to your questions so that we can all benefit from the knowledge, because that's the goal of the board. Is it's a continuation. It's like, we have one arm is the Torah study in Stickum, and the other arm is the board, right? And that makes it complete so that we have a place to go in between our study times to post things that we have questions about, just general talk, um, to answer the questions that we had during our study times, right? Because we can't answer the questions always when we have our Stickum study times. We have to kind of go back, and some of us ask our rabbis, and some of us do our research online or whatever, and we come up with the answer, and we need to have a place to put that where everybody can access it. And it's kind of like a storehouse of information. That's what I want that particular, that's kind of how I think that particular forum, the Torah portion, the Parsha and Haftarah forum, should work. There should be one thread for each week, and like there's one in there now for Chukat, and then we just post in that thread what we've learned. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm going with that. What else is new? Oh, you know what, everyone? It's been really difficult for me. And I'll honestly tell you, the reason why I was 10 minutes late is because the weather in Vancouver right now is bothering my spine. Um, I set my alarm for 7 o'clock at night because that's when I have to wake up on Tuesday nights to go to study. So I set the alarm for 7 o'clock, but I didn't actually make it there for another 10 minutes, and that's because I was in bed and I was, in pain, and I was kind of sleeping it off. And that's why I sleep a lot. I sleep through a lot of the the kind of low-level achy kind of pain that I get when the weather turns this bad, and it's really bad right now. Like it's incredibly humid, and it's got that little tiny chill in it, even though it's warm out. It's got that little tiny chill of humidity that's just getting into my spine and making everything hurt. And it's been like this for the last 3 days, 4 days. Um, and I don't know when it's going to break. I have no idea when it's going to stop. And again, last night, I went to bed, um, let's see, I went to bed Saturday at, um, sorry, I went to bed at like 3 in the morning on Saturday, well, what was actually Sunday morning, and I didn't wake up until 10 p.m. Saturday night. So I slept all those hours because of this weather and because of my disability, my spinal injury. So it's not been too friendly. I couldn't even go to temple this week. That's how bad it was. Um, it's just been, I really, really was upset that I didn't get to go to temple because I was just, just too, it was too painful. It was too much in my spine. So, yeah, I mean, I spent Shabbat sleeping. Yeah, I know it's one of the things you're supposed to do, but it's just really difficult for me sometimes. Yeah, it's this kind of injury is hard to handle, hard to deal with. And my shul is really far away. For somebody like me, it's kind of far away. Um, I mean, I do like the ride there in a way because I sometimes get to stop off and have falafel, and I really like that. But it is quite a ways, and I have to wait out in the in the reason I couldn't go to Shul is because I would have to be out in this kind of weather, and I have to try to move in this weather, and it was just too painful. So I feel really bad because I really wanted to be in Shul. It was really difficult for me. I can't wait until this weather breaks because it's just really, really driving me nuts. So with that, now we're on the next parsha. We are on, let's see, we're on Balak. Yes, Balak. So that should be interesting coming up Tuesday night. Yeah, Balak. And I don't know if any of you do this, but this is what I do. I'm reading from the beginning, from Bereshit, and I've already just finished. I'm almost at the end. Actually, I am at the end of Bereshit, and I'm starting on the beginning of Shemot. Yes, Shemot. Um, I find it's good to kind of go back over things from earlier because sometimes you'll find something that you'll go, oh yes, I remember that. I read about that, in the parsha that comes later, right? So I find it's always useful to do that. Another thing that I do, which is probably many of you have did when you first started really studying, is I like to make the family trees. So I've got my book here. I've got the family tree of Abraham and Sarah. I've got the tree of Nanor and Milcah, which was Abraham's brother. I've got Adam and Eve. I've got their lineage up until Noah. And I've got Noah's sons here. So yeah, it's good to kind of, for me anyway, because you get to those parts of the Torah where it's like, and this one begot this one, and this one begot this one, and it's like a whole big thing about how this one's begetting this one all the way through it. And so what I do is, like, I get to a part like that, and I'm like, okay, instead of just like reading, skipping through that, like, because it's so boring, I'm actually going to write down and make a chart of the family and, you know, see if there's, you know, because these people are mentioned later on, of course, in the Torah, so why not? Another thing that's on the board that we just discussed that I made a thread about is how people sort of like learn the brachot, right? How do people do that? Like for me, everyone probably has a different method. Now, Alex and Tanhouse said you shouldn't try to memorize it. You just learn it as you go along and shul. And that's wonderful. I like that idea. Um, However, um, there are some brachot that you don't say in temple. Like for example, like you know the blessing over bread. You don't say that in temple. Well, we don't anyway. And there's different there's a bracha here for beginning to read the Torah, and another bracha for the end of Torah study. There's even a bracha before you read the Haftarah, and another bracha when you're done reading the Haftarah. And I've got them all, I've got them down in here, and I've actually, what I do is, I think you might be able to see this one a little bit better. Don't know if you can see that. There you go. I copy it down. This is the Amidah. I copy it down in Hebrew, and then I put the transliteration below. And sometimes, whoops, yeah, and sometimes I'll actually put the, underneath the actual Hebrew, I'll put the Hebrew cursive. It's just my way of, yeah, let's reset that. It's just my way of learning, it's just my way of learning Hebrew, and it's my way of learning the brachot at the same time. So, anyway, I think that's enough of a video. Shavua Tov, everyone, and I can't wait until we do our study on Tuesday. Hopefully this weather will have broken and my spine will go back to, you know, an easier state that I can deal with, because this is just way too much. This is really been challenging for me. So anyway, I'll talk to everyone soon. Shalom.